So I rewatched the fight between Magomed Ankalaev and Alex Pereira, and I have to say, Magomed Ankalaev won. Go watch it yourself. I watched it. I watched it maybe total twice back. He won. It's difficult to give Alex that fight if you really look at it. You have to really look at the shots that land and the shots that don't. If you can't see if a shot lands, play it back. Do you see a reaction out of that other fighter? Do you see their head get rocked back? Do you see them stop in their tracks? Try to actually look at the shots that land. A big thing in fights that happens is there's a lot of commotion. There's a lot of just big moments of chaos, and it looks like shots land and the crowd cheers, and then you see the playback and the shot didn't even land. The crowd, the announcers, Joe Rogan, who knows almost nothing about fighting, even though he pretends like he's an expert, they'll give a big reaction. You look back, the punch didn't even land. It's a very common thing. And just because the judges score it, this guy has this amount of significant strikes and this guy doesn't, oftentimes it's not accurate. The Weasel MMA actually does one of the most accurate breakdowns I've ever seen of punches landed, whether they're light, medium, or hard, and who landed more of them throughout the entire fight. I would actually recommend everyone go check him out. Maybe I'll plug his channel below. He did edge it to Ankalaev. I think it was more than edged. I think that Ankalaev, again, I think he won a 3-2 easy, potentially 4-1. So, I think it's difficult to really give the fight to Pereira at the end of the day. It's pretty definitive for Ankalaev. He landed more of the shots that mattered over the entire fight. He was more in control. He was landing. This is the thing, too. He was landing shots against the cage. I know MMA Guru was freaking out. Was like, oh, so we're giving fights to guys because they hold others against the cage. And I get that argument. I do. He was landing shots, though, and he landed some hard knees. He landed some knees in the clinch against the cage. He landed some in the open, from what I remember. He landed a bunch to the face. Those add up. Those hurt, especially if you got a broken nose and you're doing that to a guy. That can really, those little pepper shots to the same spot over and over, that can change the course of the fight, because then you jab that guy, in the middle when you guys are in the open again. All of a sudden he drops because it's just too much pain. It's too much sensation. His body can't take it, or he's more likely to give a big reaction that'll leave another opening for something else. So everything matters, and he was landing a lot of shots against the cage. So yeah, Magomed Ankalaev definitely won that fight. I'm going to be honest with you. Alex Pereira fought the way he normally does. That's how Alex fights. I don't think he's really going to improve that much more beyond that. That's typically just how he fights. I think the one who has a far greater room and a much greater, more spacious capacity for improvement is Magomed Ankalaev. I think if Ankalaev does things a little bit differently, he's far more prepared for the kicks that gave him pause in the beginning. He puts himself in better positions to check. He doesn't wait so long to attack when Alex is clearly open. He has a stronger game plan, even though he did go to the body a lot and it helped him in the fight. He has a strong game plan on throwing big right hands to the body, clinching Alex to prevent him from throwing back, and then getting away from him quickly. Maybe throwing. He's got some fast knees. He's probably got some of the fastest knees I've ever seen for a guy of his size. When he gets the clinch, throwing a couple quick knees, then getting Alex off him. Setting up his takedowns a little better, chain wrestling more, baiting Alex into shots more, into takedown shots. Making sure his hips are more available and that he can't get to sprawl positions or defensive positions as easily, or having other ways of taking him down too, maybe some trips, maybe some throws, things like that. I really think Ankalaev is the one who, even if he improved 10%, I think he could potentially put Alex away, if not just beat him all 5 rounds. DDP still made a lot of mistakes in the Strickland fight, but he improved in that fight maybe an extra 10-15% for the first couple rounds, and he kind of went back to his other bad habits that he does. And he smoked Sean. I mean, he beat him I'm pretty sure he won all 5 rounds, if not maybe lost one. A 10-15% improvement out of Magomed Ankalaev, which yes is difficult to make, but bro, I think he puts Alex out or just dominates him. An easy 4-1 or a 5-0 shutout, just dominates him. So yeah, at the end of the day, I really think Magomed Ankalaev is the one who has the most amount of room for improvement. And I think that I just think Alex, like, he does well and he does adjust his striking, but when a guy has a really complete game plan and fights very calm and very calculated, kind of like how Jiri didn't fight. Like, if Jiri fights the way against Pereira in the rematch in the trilogy that he fought against Jamal Hill, if he fights against Pereira that way, much more calm, he's got a pretty decent chance of winning. He made some big adjustments for the Jamal fight. He still made a lot of mistakes, but he made some really big adjustments. His footwork was much better. His defense was much better. He wasn't just putting himself in terrible positions over and over again. He was calculating more. He was waiting for the moment. He was letting his opponent overextend and then countering. If he does that against Alex, he's got a much better shot of winning. Right? Now, especially now that he's been beat twice, I really feel like more guys are going to start to beat him. Like, his body is just wide open. His head is wide open. You just throw a couple feints, get him to react and pull back, wait till he's at the back of his range. He can't go back anymore, and just come through with something big in the middle. His head is just right there. It's too easy to hit him. He's very easy to hit. For a guy who puts everyone away and who's done very well, I'm telling you, bro, I think it depends on who he fights next. I think Ankalaev beats him in a rematch. I think we're going to start to see a Pereira downfall, because it's just, he's not, I don't think he's that hard to beat. And I know that's like a lot easier said than done. I know I'm not the one in there, but he's just so open. You know, Israel Adesanya knocked him out in their rematch because Pereira was just fighting like an idiot. He was just walking into stuff, and he still does that all the time. He still does it. So, you know, we've seen what happened to Adesanya. So I think a lot of other guys are going to start to figure it out. I think they're going to come in with good game plans. And yeah, I think we're going to start to see a Pereira downfall, and a much deserved one. He's not improving. And also now he's going out and doing all this partying stuff. You know, the fact that he lost, it actually makes all the claims people were making about him partying and how, you know, this could be the beginning of his downfall. Like when Ronda started to party and be in movies, her downfall happened. When Conor started to, you know, just do whatever Conor does, you know, doing anything besides fighting, that was his downfall. You better believe it is a distraction, because he really didn't look improved at all. And Ankalaev did look improved from his previous fights. So I think it's a good thing Pereira lost. I think Ankalaev beats him in a rematch. I think this could be the beginning of the Pereira downfall. And at the end of the day, he got what he deserved based on his skill set. He didn't improve at all. And that's what happens. So is what it is. Tell me what you think in the comments below. I want to know all your thoughts. Do you agree? Do you disagree? I do respond to every single comment, so go ahead and comment below. We'll have a conversation down there. If you want to see more daily updates, things I'm doing, things I'm getting into, talking, giving little clips and snippets about, you know, things that are happening in the fight world, and you know, just different things like that, little quick bits of value and opinions and my takes on things, and you know, a bunch of different stuff like that. You can go ahead and check out my Instagram. You know, it's hard to make full videos on every little thing that happens in the fight world, but you can cover it on Instagram. Eventually, I'm probably going to start like a little paid group where, you know, a group of guys who are really, really big fans of the sport, you know, maybe want to start betting, maybe want to start understanding how to predict fights better. Maybe want to start understanding how to, you know, optimize your training. Haven't posted any of my training, right? I've never trained before. That's the narrative we're going with. Never trained, just a guy who talks about fighting. That's what we're going to go with. But someday I'll post training footage. Maybe I'll do a little bit of teaching after I, you know, get a decent record or something like that. Knock out some YouTube losers. We'll see. But I could definitely give some tips and help some people out, even though I've never trained before. So is what it is. Hope you've enjoyed the content. My name's Angelo. This is The Art of Violence. Till next time.